We're alive. Do 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 do. We're alive. Do 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 do. Hello, Miss Karen. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. I love
Oh,
doing lives with you. There's always the music, the intro music. It's so great.
comes with the territory. Um,
It's not one of my strengths, so I really appreciate it.
yeah. Um, Someone said recently, you know, when I'm in classes and we have translation in many languages, that how do you translate Rachel O'Brien if you don't sing?
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Or the dance moves.
Oh yeah, the dance moves like oh yeah.
Like now that reminds me of the dance party we had when you were last in Toronto for a 3-day body. It was wild. It
It
was
was
wild.
yeah, and I that actually is the difference that I absolutely adore about you is that embodiment of joy and embodiment of fun. And so that's the that's the difference of what is valuable to us in regard to being alive, isn't it?
It's true. Well, to me, I'm like, if you're not having fun, what is even the point? What is and then it's you're not always there's gonna be sort of be ups and downs, and if you're not having fun, oh man, no,
What's your life
doesn't
for?
work.
What is your life
Yeah,
for? You know?
yeah, yeah. So speaking of not having fun or having fun, um, oh my gosh, now I have so many thoughts. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. So we talked about Toronto. So you're coming to Toronto again. Yes, next month. In fact, in exactly 1 month for Talk to the Entities. And
Yeah.
one of the things I've been really curious about, which I have mentioned to you, is what is talk to the entities and what can entity awareness show up as for anyone who doesn't know any better?
So, Talk to the Entities is a universal movement. I'm talking about even bigger than the world. I'm talking about a shift in the universe in regard to being aware of entities that no longer have bodies and the way that you can contribute to their movement to consciousness. So, we live in a world where I talked to this about Shannon with the Shannon O'Hara, the creator of Talk to Entities recently. And we were looking at like you ask someone, is this an entity? And they'll go, ooh, you know? And we live in a world where there's mass denial and delusion in regard to the spirit world. Where do you go when you die? You know?
Yeah. And
And
fear.
massive fear. And don't talk about that. People will think we're crazy.
Yeah.
So you're insane if you hear people that had a body and they're stuck on a land or they're stuck in a timeline, and you can contribute to them going beyond that identity and that job, you know? And
Yeah.
so what is Talk to Entities? It is a movement of education and information in regard to how to handle your spirit awareness and um, pragmatic, easy to use tools that are effective and efficient in the usage of your energy in regard to acknowledging, claiming, and owning that gift.
The
I'm back.
entities are calling.
It was actually my son in Toronto who I haven't talked to for a week ringing. I talk
When are
about
you
Toronto.
coming?
He's like, when are you coming?
Yeah.
Awareness. Yeah. Yeah. And so you asked something which is like super relevant for me. You said, what way did it affect you when you didn't have the tools? And so we talked about embodiment and what's my life for. I am, first of all, I'm extremely sensitive to entities. So I'm one of the people who does not get away with avoiding the awareness of the spirit world. Okay. It doesn't, what I mean by that is it doesn't create it doesn't create the joy of living and fun and space and gratitude and caring for me when I'm negating this capacity. So
Yeah.
um, I came into my first class thinking that I had depression. I was hearing voices in my head. And because what I'd seen about the spirit world was from movies, you know, you're going to
Yeah.
see Mary in the corner, or
Yeah.
you're going to see Anita. So I had so
Yeah.
much, I had so much misinformation about being spirit aware.
Yeah. Me too.
And yeah, and everyone that I have ever facilitated to walk through the Talk to Entities beginning class education information. And so the way that I receive information is I can hear a thought and then I have to ask, is this an entity? Is this something else or is this someone else? You know? And one of the awarenesses that I now am quick to recognize is this an entity? Oh, there's a being around me that no longer has a body. And then the characteristics of the spirit world is you're educated about that. Like what type of an entity am I
Yeah.
dealing with there? You know?
Yeah.
And so for me, I have a massive capacity in regard to like drug and alcohol entities. And so I would be like, oh, I feel drunk, but I feel drunk is owning the energy that you're aware of and being possessed by it, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas in talk to entities, what are you perceiving in regard to the spirit world? What's your perception? What open up your energetically educating, you're unlearning thinking, feeling, emoting, and you're practicing pragmatically. Ooh, that energy. What was that
Yeah.
energy? Oh, that was like some weird drunken blah energy. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So was that an entity who died when, you know, in an alcohol blackout or on lots of drugs, you know? And
Yeah.
so we go through, of course, you've like conscious beings that are looking to contribute to us, and light beings and teammates and beings of light. And so you've this diverse kingdom that you're dealing with. And most of us have the point of view that entities are all the same, and they're actually not,
True.
you
True.
know? And so the way that it impacted me was in a very negative way. And what was creating that is I wasn't educated to recognize what is my reality with the spirit world. Yes, there is a reality. It's true. Okay. How do I experience it? Okay.
Yeah.
Hearing thoughts in my head, walking into in my apartment, it's different to being down outside, you know, a place where people are drinking a lot of alcohol, or where people are in a shopping mall, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
driving down a motorway in Germany, you know what I mean? And so different places have different energetics. And so for me, it really started educating me on the pragmatics of what do I know? What is my knowing of the spirit world? And so really finding my reality, because the way that Kieran experiences her entity sensitivity and awareness is different to Rachel, you know. Some people, their eyes get super scratchy.
Yes.
I get like 2 red marks, like blood things down my chin, you know. Not like significant, just like a flush in energy. My body's like, hey, hello, this is what's going on. My body shows me wakey wakey, you know,
Yes.
look what's around you. And so we will all experience it. We will all find our own reality, know your own reality, and have your reality. Itchiness, Deborah says, yeah, scratching, you know.
Yes. I get hives. But like I will
Oh,
randomly
yeah,
get hives. And
yeah.
initially I was like, why am I breaking? I didn't touch
Oh,
anything.
yeah,
I'm having an allergic reaction.
yeah.
Over time, I realized it's my body's way of saying, hey, there's entities around. And as soon as I acknowledge it, it'll go away in seconds. As quickly as it came, as quickly it'll leave. And I'm curious for you, because you talked about your experience with it, have you experienced any body stuff? Like, do you have a physical experience of, oh, entities are around or requiring facilitation? Yeah, what has that been for you?
For me, it's all different and it can depend on the countries that I'm into. Sometimes I would have like this microplasm in my eyes. Like when I was a kid, I used to get conjunctivitis. And I didn't have someone like Shannon O'Hara around me or Gary Douglas or Dr. Dane here when I was a kid that says, hey, are you entity sensitive? You know? And so I would go to the doctor, get these eye drops. They never worked. And then I came to know the tools of Toxic Entities. I started running the Toxic Entities clearing, which Deborah is asking about in the thread. And so I became aware that my being was able to recognize that there were entities around me that no longer had a body. And my eyes were showing me this, you know?
Right.
And so it's something that I know. First of all, I honor the capacity now. I respect that I have an ability to be aware of beings that no longer have bodies.
Yeah. And you don't get to turn it off. You can sort of suppress it and try to, sidestep it, and you really don't get to turn it off. And to me, I learned a long time ago, you might as well learn how to navigate it and have ease with it.
Totally. And I did a session with a lady today in the Netherlands that's negating hers, and her body is like really, it's creating a negative impact on her body, you know. She's perceiving entities, but she's believing the energies are hers. And so then she's locking in that energy into her own body instead of knowing that she has a massive capacity to facilitate entities. And so the clearings, you can go to Toxic Entities on YouTube, and we have the beautiful identity and job clearings, and they're so simple. Who are you? Who were you before that? Who were you before that? Who were you before that? And who can you be in the future? Now, what's going on here is the consciousness perspective is that you are an infinite being, and you've chosen a body, and in that body, you might have been, let's say, Joseph in Boston in 1605, okay? And Joseph, his identity was, he was the son of Irish immigrants, and his job was to look after his family. And so the person solidifies their energy to only the job of the body and the identity of the body. And so they get stuck in a lie. They get stuck in a timeline. And actually, when you have consciousness that this being does not have to be stuck in a house in Boston. Who are you? He's an infinite being. He's had other lifetimes. He will have many futures. It actually is a capacity to assist the being in moving forward and bringing their being forward so that they have more choice, more space, more consciousness. So to speak, you're moving them to the lightness of consciousness.
How lovely. How lovely that we get to do that.
I am so grateful that I chose this capacity before I came in this lifetime, because these capacities, we actually choose them before we choose a body. There's something that we choose as a capacity, and then you can ask, like, how does this capacity work? And first of all, get yourself educated. There's no problem when you're handling what you're aware of, and when you're energetically contributing what you're capable of contributing to, and what you're capable of contributing, who and what you're capable of contributing to, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And I would say for me, it's essential to run the clearings.
Yes. I have learned that the hard way. In avoidance and all of that. I'm like, nope, now we're doing it.
In avoiding, no, this can't be real. I'm crazy. No. Yeah. And then my favorite one was like, who and what am I defending? You know, by negating this capacity. I'm defending that I should fit in. I'm defending that the spirit world isn't real. I'm defending that I'm normal. You know, I'm not normal. I have different functionalities.
Yes.
Now, if I'm told to fit into normal and not be aware of a whole universe that I'm aware of, then my functionality doesn't work.
No, and it's an invalidation also of what you do know. You may not have the words for it, and yet you know it and are aware of it.
Totally. And so for me, I cannot even begin to express in words the phenomenal transformation of the way that I live due to the use of Talk to the Entities tools, and supporting people to know that they're not crazy or wrong.
Yes.
You know, because they have this massive capacity to be spirit aware, that using that capacity and allowing yourself to actually benefit from it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you think we have time for one more question? One last one?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe then
We can go again.
we can go again, and they may just have to show up to the class.
Yeah. We'll be in Toronto.
Yes.
I am an advocate of this class. I have got more of me. I've got to know me. I've got to know the way I function. And I guess my question is, what will your life be like in 5 years, in 10 years, if you choose to embrace and have gratitude and honor this amazing, phenomenal capacity that can be missed, not even can be missed, that is mostly missed due to the undereducation and lack of information in regard to the capacity.
Yep. Thank you so much for this time. This class is available online and in person, so you have options, and we'll post all the links and everything in the comments.
Beautiful. And I'm off to Talk to Entities class.
Oh, have fun.
See you soon. Well, thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.